Abby, it was unbelievable. Coach Jimmy Tillette joining me now from Samford. And, Coach, I remember being in my kitchen at the table watching that shot, and it seemed so nonchalant for them to throw it 3/4 of the court and Christian Laettner to make it.
Well, he caught it and turned in rhythm and shot
Right.
the ball. And from a coaching standpoint, the first thing you think about is, are they going to put anybody on the ball? And there was nobody on the ball. So coaches maybe look at that a little differently.
Unbelievable how things worked out. All right, well, let's talk about this tournament, Coach. You've had a chance to look at the brackets. Who do you like early on in this thing?
Well, the popular pick is Ohio State. I think they're the most versatile team. I think they can score inside. I think they can score outside. They play really good defense. You know, I would say Kansas would be my second pick. I would think the most vulnerable of the #1 seeds would be Pittsburgh, because they're probably the most limited team offensively, even though they're very physical in how they play and rebound the ball well.
And we were looking at this deal, and you kind of like UAB, if they beat Clemson, to maybe give West Virginia a run.
Yeah, I think either one of those teams has a chance against West Virginia. West Virginia has gone through some significant droughts on offense. You know,
right.
Bobby, Huggins does a great job of coaching, but his defense is a specialty. And the other thing, I really think it's an advantage playing the first night if you're able to get a win and move on, get some momentum.
Talk about that, especially for UAB. This is their group's first time being in the big dance. When you guys took your team for the first time to the big dance, it's kind of hard to get over the glitz and glamour a little bit.
Well, it's a little different. For us, the first time we went to a party and a basketball game broke out.
Right.
Because we were in a conga line the whole time. So we had really not had much success. Mike, on the other hand, has been on the precipice. Every year his team has been right there, you know. Right. And I know they've worked hard to be the league champion. He's done a great job, and then they get knocked out in the first round. So I think his guys will have a more serious approach to this.
And from the mental standpoint, when you're a head coach, and let's say you finally reach that goal and get over the hump, is it tough to get the guys refocused? Because they have wanted this for a long, long time.
No, I think they'll be completely focused, and I think it actually will help their focus as Clemson is they're matched up against a team that's even to them. It's not like it's a 1-16 or something like this, and then you start playing mind games. So I think that'll be a really, really interesting game, and I think it'll be a good game, and I think either one of those teams will have a legitimate shot, like I said, against West Virginia.
And certainly when you get to the tournament, I imagine it's one game at a time. You potentially can play Thursday, Saturday, but really you can't play Saturday unless if you can win that first day.
You can't look ahead at all. I mean, there's never been a 1-16 upset. There have been 2 15s, and the 12-5 game is notoriously, as you would say, or depending on how you look at that, that's the game to watch, where the upsets have occurred the most, and that will be, for UAB Clemson with West Virginia. And
certainly your program is starting to turn into the Southern Conference, and you guys are really starting to pick up some momentum here as you move forward in the Southern Conference.
Yeah, it's been a tough transition, and this next year's senior class will be the first group that we've really recruited to the Southern Conference, and our younger players, by the end of the year, we're starting a couple of freshmen in our classes, so we've gotten to recruit a little bit of a more athletic player as we've gotten into the Southern Conference, and it's going to take a year or two to show some significant fruition, but I believe we're going to get there for sure.
And lastly, just talk about your experiences in the big dance, and just people don't know it, I guess, until you get there and you're in it. It's one of those special deals.
It's extremely special, but just there's so many distractions. You get calls from so many radio stations, media outlets that just want a piece of your time, and you try to be accommodating. And then depending on who you play, the first year we played St. John's, so we're talking about New York. And I made a silly comment about, at the selection show, it's like, well, the good thing about our draw is we'll stay away from Duke until the finals, It's like, okay. But you just get so overwhelmed.
Well, Coach, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
All right, Jimmy Tillette from Samford University, my alma mater. Folks, we'll be right back with more Inside Sports.